Indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over him. Foul and corrupt are they who have taken his gift and sold it.
I've my eye on you.
Good to see you back. I've got complaints in the Nord Noble Tavern that some mercenaries have invaded. Nothing violent has happened. The sellswords are probably just disturbing the nobles' rarefied conversation. Just drum the louts out of there. The barkeep doesn't mind some blood. Or sport, as she called it. Captain said Denham won't miss a few dead mercenaries. Do what you will, and good luck.
What are you looking at? We're the Crimson Oars! Complaints! We have good coin, and we're breaking none of your laws! I spit on your complaints!
You see, this is why we called the guard. Causing a ruckus, they are. They glare at my patrons. They're loud. They're rude. And they smell.
We happen to like the ale better here, the wine too. Less vomits on the floor. So long as we're paying, they're serving! Ha ha! Nobles? You may have a point there. Fine. We'll leave. We don't want trouble with nobles.
Good job clearing those louts out.
What can I get you, stranger?
And so I shall.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
You really killed them? I'm sure you need supplies after that, don't you?
What?
I don't know if I have the strength for another big battle.
The Grey Warden saved us. Fighting the Blight is the least we can do.
True.
Always played part in defeating the Blights. This is our chance to show that we will fight and die for our home, just like any other Ferelden. Lovely. Of course. Yes, of course. I think we'll be all right now.
I dread to think of what might have become of us if you hadn't come along.
Sword and deliver me that I might find the Maker again.
Oh, and you've rested enough. We need to get these out of the tower before they get fragrant.
Raw. Right there.
you desire. Lovely. And so I shall. So I shall. Of course. And so I shall. Of course. And so I shall. Well, all right. And so I shall. all right. As you desire. I shall. Of course.
This is rather awkward, what? I'm not supposed to be here. Not right at all. Oh, this is rather awkward, what? I'm not supposed to be here. Not right at all. This is rather awkward, what? I'm not supposed to be here.
I shall.
Not right at all.
I wish I could have gone with them. To fight.
Of course.
Oh, it's you! You saved the circle. I'd kiss your feet if you didn't look as though you'd kill me if I did that. You'll settle for a handshake, won't you? Maybe a kiss on the forehead, eh? Suppose we feel the same way then. Might not seem like much coming from me, but I appreciate what you've done for us. Ah, hello again. Would you like me to tell you again how wonderful you are? Or maybe you'd just like to talk a little? Might not seem like much coming from me, but I appreciate...
Did you speak often with Kaelin?
You're asking me if I have a relationship with my brother, aren't you?
Yes. I wonder what he thought of you.
I don't think he cared much about my existence. I didn't mean anything to him. Anyway, to answer your original question, no. We never spoke. Well, maybe once. Marek and Kaelin had come to Redcliffe to visit the Arl. I was very young then. We were introduced. I believe I said, "Greetings, Your Highness." He said, "Ooh, swords," and ran off to the armory. So, yes, that was the extent of our relationship. We drifted apart after that. It was very sad.
Time for more darkspawn, you see. And so I shall. And so I shall.
Did you hear? Androste's ashes have been found. Here in Ferelden, too.
King Loghain will not...
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
Who doesn't? If I don't get in, no one should.
Orzammar has no king. Endrin Idukan returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago, sick over the loss of his sons. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. What? Lies and slander! King Loghain will not suffer this. I will not suffer it. I'm his messenger.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Blast it.
Yes.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Trust follow, Warden.
Do you think there are miniatures of these in the city?
We prefer
I'd
that
love to
outside
have
is
some on my
not
mantle.
arms. Please. For the love of Paragons. Please.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. May the ancestors protect Branka, wherever she is.
Lovely.
It is sometimes so hard to believe that you have been through so much at such a young age.
I think I look younger than I am.
Yes, that is possible. When I was your age, I was just about ready to take on my first apprentice. In hindsight, perhaps I should have waited a few more years. I was arrogant, my confidence bolstered by my youth.
It is so hard to imagine seeing you now.
Oh, I've had some 2 decades or so to grow mellow. Believe me, back then I was quite prickly.
So you are like a fine wine, yes? Losing the raw edges over time.
I suppose there is some truth to that analogy, but dear Maker, I do hate being compared to wine. Or cheese. Especially cheese.
Well, all right.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew.
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Not speak that way about the man who should be king!
I won't have fighting in the cup, especially in front of outsiders.
And so I shall.
I'll have it with the Legion.
Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate. the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry. Personal battles for honor and ancestor. I don't expect a surfacer to understand. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. Yes, you should.
Did you see that? I cannot believe what this city has come to. This would never have happened when Endrin was alive. The city is torn apart. King Endrin is dead, and the Assembly can't decide who takes the throne, Lord Harrowmont or that monster Balin. He is a good man and a skilled general. King Endrin trusted him with his life, and I will do no less. Everybody knows he killed his brother Trian and let his father's favorite son take the blame. And many question whether Endrin died abed, as we were told, or whether Balin helped him along. Only as a potential match for one of his sons. He was a good king, stern and fair and just. He died in bed after his eldest son was murdered, and the Assembly condemned his second son for it. I cannot blame him for preferring to join the ancestors in eternal peace, if Balin didn't murder him himself. I am Narav Helmi, third daughter of the second matron of House Helmi. And you, stranger, what brings you to Orzammar at such a time? A Grey Warden? That explains why they allowed you past the gates. What kind of aid do you mean? A blight? Now? But our warriors are killing each other in the streets. I'm sorry, stranger. I fear there will be no aid for you in Orzammar. If you seek Lord Harrowmont's support, I suggest you talk with his trusted advisor, Dulin Ferender. He might be able to get you an audience.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Vilda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
Topsider? The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Excuse me, do you have... You look like you're not from around here. Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Then I'm truly honored. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins?
Don't let the glamour fool you, child. Wielding magic is a dangerous occupation, and a great responsibility.
Of course not. Haven't you read First Enchanter Caithalin's treatise concerning dwarfs and the non-heritability of magic? He tested dwarfs from 20 bloodlines and found they couldn't perform any level of spell casting, regardless of lyrium exposure or time on the surface. The Circle speculates that lyrium in the stone shields us from spiritual influences, and over time made us immune to them. I want to go to the Circle to study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface, and the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Greetings! Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging. Then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself. Of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs in hours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck. Right. Best in the trade, you know. I work the ore myself.
So I am led to understand that the sister is a follower of this Maker.
Am I the sister? Oh, that's so cute. It's like you're my big brother. Or sister. Or whatever.
I am... You went above and beyond the call of duty for the Circle. You have done us proud. Orzammar, indeed. You have piqued my curiosity. It is common knowledge that dwarves lack the aptitude for spellcraft. She will never be able to weave the simplest magic, no matter how hard she tries. Fascinating. I suppose the Circle should be flattered. I see. If she is willing to sacrifice so much for this, then we should feel honored. Tell Dagna of Orzammar that this path will not be easy. But if she chooses it, then she is welcome here at the Circle. She will live and study with the Tranquil, and perhaps the apprentices, when it is appropriate. Ah, if only the Circle was in better shape. I fear she may be disappointed when she arrives. This will be interesting. She could tell us much about our dwarven neighbors. Yes, the more I think about it, the more I like the idea. I shall take this as an indication that perhaps things are starting to look up for the Circle. Thank you. You've already done much for the Circle. I wish...
You have coin? Fine weapon and arms, dwarven made.
Hello, how can I... It's you! And it's been, well, quite a while. Enough time to get to the Circle and back, I hope. Oh, please tell me what they said. Ancestors, bless you! I can't believe it! There hasn't even been a dwarven observer in the Circle since Urelden in the 13th century! I need to pack. No, My parents would get suspicious. I need to go. Is there anything I should bring? Books? Tuition? Then I should go before my parents come looking for me. If you ever go to the Circle again, maybe I'll see you there.
Welcome to Jan... I must say, looking for a new set of mail. At Janar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. Has she been bothering you? It's a whiff of surface stink, and she's like a cave tick. Won't let go. What? Do you even know? She's castless. My daughter is dead to me. You monster! You sent my daughter to the surface! Now she can never return! Leave us alone. Your foolishness killed our daughter. Nothing.
Lovely. As you desire.
Hey, what's down there?
It speaks. It doesn't have better things to do. I do not sleep, so yes, and I thank it for reminding me. Try to imagine, if it will, what it would be like to be surrounded by nothing but boring peasants, all oblivious to it. And then there were the birds. A whole village full of pigeons and ravens and sparrows all perching on me day in and day out. Those foolish villagers would spread birdseed near me, drawing the birds, because they thought having birds perch on me was quaint. Quaint! If there hadn't been the occasional kind soul to scour me clean, I don't care to discuss this anymore. It speaks. It doesn't have better things to do. That is true, I do not. I'm not interested in getting into a discussion on the subject, however. If it is done... It speaks. It doesn't have better things to do. Oh yes, that I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it. I'd have happily stomped them all into paste, and then ripped down their little houses and stomped on them, too. In fact, after 30 years of watching them, I'd do it twice. What I didn't like was being ordered to do it. Dangled in front of those frightened morons like some scary thing. Once I was a statue, it took those villagers years before they'd even approach me. The first one to actually work up the nerve to touch me urinated himself. Ugh. That is where Wilhelm kept me. He wanted me out in the open where I could be frightening like a scarecrow. I was supposed to watch for thieves. Pah! Plus, his wife didn't want me indoors. She said there wasn't room for me. Hag. I was once larger, 10 feet tall. Then the loathsome hag complained that I couldn't fit through the doors. So the mage had me shrunk down. Can it believe it? And she still wanted me out. With a chisel and a lot of nerve. He did love using that control rod. Fondled it so much his wife actually threatened to throw it in the lake. Ha! I would have liked to have seen that. Which reminds me, where did it find the rod? Did it pay a great deal for it? Hag. I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark. I have no idea. Wilhelm used to brag that the dwarves stopped making golems centuries ago. I do not age as you soft creatures do. Sadly, my memory is no better. Plus, I get bored and stop paying attention. Good. I was just...
I hope the Assembly picks a king soon.
Higher class of midget lives here, I'll wager.
Lord Balin suspected of personally defacing statues of a paragon.
It speaks.
News of the hour. 2 more clans endorsed Lord Balin as the new king. Change is inevitable.
After all this is over, I wouldn't mind getting a job here. I could sing, tell stories, help the king get items from high shelves.
Who would dare take from the memories? Orden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
I'm quite busy. Please do not disturb me.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Shh. I'm doing very important work.
As you desire. As you desire.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. Ask, and I shall do my best to answer. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. There is one paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status. She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned. We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn. They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the darkspawn claim them and few venture there. Accept your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many darkspawn as possible. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. Yes, we have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery. At the other side of the old Empire, during the last Blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the Blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad. Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Disgusting. Someone stole from the Shaperate. Yes, that... Even I could shatter from this height, surely.
Lord Harrowmont, said to have kicked Castellan in the street.
Could the end of Orzammar be nigh? Turn to Lord Harrowmont and assure the future.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously. And unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Lovely.
Years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Opera. She took the whole house, everybody but you.
I can't imagine what you mean.
Has the Elder Mage ever encountered another golem?
I suppose there used to be one deactivated one stored in the tower's vault. I wonder what became of it. After all that's happened to the Circle, I'd be surprised if it isn't completely destroyed.
Why was it deactivated? Did it crush some arrogant mage's head after one too many commands?
I do not know, Shale. Perhaps it is just irreparably broken. I think it stayed in the tower. Each other in the arena, do they?
Watch for Pio. He has 11 decapitations so far. He needs just 3 more for the one-season record. Front row seat. Name's Varric. I got a controlling interest in a mine off the old Roostin Tig. But my backers know not to hand me a pick any day there's blood on the stone, if you know what I mean. Me? Are you out of your mind? I'm a miner, not a warrior. They change from round to round. Sometimes it's bare hands, sometimes weapons, sometimes pairs or squads. It's announced when the fight begins. That's about all the warning anyone gets. I'm telling you, Piotin will take the prize. You can put gold on it.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me? Why, I'm Basil Harrimont, but you know that. Why else would you... if you weren't looking for me, do me a favor and pretend I never said anything. I left the Proving on my own business, and I have no intention of discussing it. Look, it's just, when I was younger, I had a thing with this Idukan girl, Revelka. Lesser cousin, nowhere near the throne. Her family wanted her marrying up, so they matched her with a BMO. But we didn't exactly stop seeing each other. Balin's fighter, Miaja, showed me love letters they have, from Revelka to me. If I fight, they'll expose us. You'd do that? I don't know how to thank you. I know it's my own fault, but I'd have married her if I could. Balin's fighter, Miaja, has the letters. If you make sure she never shows them to anyone, I'll fight for Harriman again. But you need to find them quickly. Registrations close once the first...
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight? Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed? I'll just call you Grey Warden, since those elven names are such a mouthful. We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start? That's what I like to hear. I will warn you, though. This is your last chance to make preparations or meet the competition. Once the fights begin, there are no new additions to the roster. All withdrawals are treated as losses and a sign of the ancestors' disfavor. Do you want to start, or would you like some time? The fighters' quarters are behind the ring. Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Sawern of the Warrior Caste. Many of you remember when Sawern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him, in Lord Harriman's name, is a member of the famed Grey Wardens.
In the name of House Idukan and our future King Balin.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! That was an exciting start, Warden. Sawern is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round, Harriman's champion takes on the notorious duo, the Warrior Caste Twin Terrors, now fighting for Prince Balin, Miaja and Lukjam.
May the stone honor you.
You fall. First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! the Grey Warden! Well, that was an exciting bout. 2-on-1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent? Very well. We'll be waiting.